3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank, this is Hail Southern Live.
Glory to God and a bunch of great kids. Is college football not the best thing on earth?
Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern athletics, including a visit with head football coach Clay Helton.
Georgia Southern is championships. That's what this place was founded on. And the expectation and the standard each and every year is to compete and win championships.
Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Savannah Hilton Head International Airport and the Savannah Airport Commission. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again one more time back inside Wild Wing Cafe. This is Hail Southern Live every Monday night here in Statesboro on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Here until 8 o'clock talking Georgia Southern athletics. We'll have plenty of Eagle football coming up later on with head coach Clay Helton, as well as inside linebacker Cadre Jackson. Georgia Southern did taste defeat for the first time this season, losing at Wisconsin last Saturday, 35-14. 2-1 though through 3 games. One more non-conference matchup. That'll be this Saturday in Muncie, Indiana. First ever trip up to Schumann Stadium. It's the Georgia Southern Eagles and the Ball State Cardinals. 2 o'clock Eastern is the kickoff to finish out non-conference play. We will be live at 12 noon with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. For the first 10 minutes, we're going to be talking some Eagle men's tennis with one of our newest Eagles. Please welcome to the nest, new head coach Andrew Goodwin. Pleasure to have you up here. Good to see you, man.
Danny, it's good to see you out here, man, instead of down in the office as Henry.
Yeah, we do kind of occupy the basement, don't we?
We do.
You're a couple doors down. I know you're working hard. We're there doing the podcast and the like, but you've been working for the last 4 months trying to get the program going.
Yeah, been putting in a lot of work, but I'm excited to be here. I think I came in an awkward time in the summer when basically my whole team was away from Statesboro, and it's been awesome this past month having them back on campus, getting to work, and really getting to know them and exactly what we need to be doing on a daily basis.
When you get hired during the summer, what's the extra challenge of trying to get to know your guys?
Yeah, building a relationship over the phone, over Zoom, and trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to be doing on a daily basis based on, just what I know from the past. But it was exciting, though, too, because I felt like it gave me a chance to, just build the base and foundation of a relationship with them. And, it's been awesome. I'm more of a face-to-face people person, and it's been great actually getting out on the court with them, getting in the weeds. It's been great.
You know, with the explosion of Zoom and Microsoft Teams and Skype and all that ever since the COVID era, it's been a lot more virtual, but there is still a lot of value of that face-to-face interaction, the handshake, the hug, whatever. That's how you can really establish that genuine relationship.
I agree. Yeah, it's face-to-face. I think that's what I prefer. And, I've just been meeting with them as much as I can. It's been great, and I'm really lucky to have such a great group of guys that are already very close, very into the team, and completely bought into what we're doing here as an athletic department at Georgia Southern.
Previous 2 years spent at Tulsa, also some time at Alabama, one of your alma maters, Mississippi State, with Charlotte, with Michigan. A lot of moving around for somebody that's been in coaching for less than 10 years, but how do you look at all those stops and forming the kind of coach that you become now that you're a first-time head coach?
Yeah, I've been lucky to be at just about all those places. I feel like I've learned a lot of different coaching styles, a lot of different ways to run a program, and the way I viewed it is more so picking and choosing what I really like, seeing what applies to me and my values, and now I'm just excited as all get out to put that to action and see if I know what I'm doing.
You're taking over a program that had a really strong 2022, 15-8 record. They had a 10-match win streak at one point. They got into the ITA national rankings for the first time ever. With what you have back, 2 all-conference nods from a year ago as well, but with what you have back, how do you build even more and make this an even better season?
Yeah, so first things first with this, it's interesting because usually when you come into there's a head coaching opening, it's because the program's maybe not in the best spot. I do not believe that. I feel like we have a bunch of young, hungry guys that are just want to get coached up, and they want someone to put in the work for them. So I'm really excited. My big goal for them is I feel like they've established the overall importance and the value of this program for them. They really own it, which I love, and now I'm just trying to give them some direction. The big thing we've been talking about, especially this fall, is forming an identity as a team. We're not going to be a team that gets our confidence or our identity through how well we hit a tennis ball. It's going to be what we're doing to push the people around us and forcing our opponents to go through hell and back to play us.
And we had you on an episode of East Georgia's Morning Show during the summer. We also talked with Sean McCaffrey during a previous episode of the Inside Eagle Nation podcast. That tennis season, really seasons for him because he had to coach both teams with Coach Bayon leaving right before the season started. But being able to lean on him for that extra knowledge and that extra support, how much more does it mean in this particular instance?
Oh, it's huge. Sean's been nothing but incredible since I got here. I feel like he's been here for a very, very long time, whether it's daily questions or just kind of guidance on the guys. That was another thing I had to do. First off, when I got here, was I spoke with him about what he saw out of the players, what he saw in the program, what he thought they needed, and he's been incredible, and he's definitely a massive impact, not just on tennis, but the athletic department as a whole. We're lucky to have him.
What has it been like as a member of Eagle Nation so far in these last 4 months?
It's been very welcoming. I've loved it. I grew up in Atlanta, and I had a bunch of my closest friends actually went to Georgia Southern, and I knew coming into here that it was a very tight-knit community. I knew that people that came here bled blue and white, and it's something I wanted to be a part of. A big reason I came and took this head job was because I knew the kind of pride that people have when they come through Statesboro.
Okay, being from the Atlanta area, can we assume that you're an Atlanta Falcons fan?
Oh, yeah. I was at the game yesterday.
Younghoe Koo, game winner yesterday. We all can applaud for that. 57 seconds left. He ends up pulling the game winner. Falcons 2-0, beating the Packers yesterday. But as you're about to start your season this weekend, it's the individual part. You won't get going with team competition until the spring, but the next 4 weeks, it'll all be individual competition. That starts in Charlotte this Friday. What will you be looking to see from your group?
I want to see if we're going to back ourselves. I want to see if we're going to buy in or consistently buy in under pressure when we're feeling good, when we're feeling bad, on a daily basis of what we bring as a team. Are they going to lean on each other? Are we going to have the confidence in what work we've been putting in every day to back it under pressure and back it in a competitive situation? I'm fired up. I love getting into the weeds with them day to day. I'm a day-to-day guy, getting in their day-to-day practice. I really believe that I don't want to wait till a tournament for our team to gain confidence. I'm more into pushing them every day, and they're putting in a ton of work. I'm ready to just let them loose and let them compete.
How would you describe the relationship that you have with Jared Benko that ultimately got you here?
Yeah, I was lucky to get to know Jared at one of my previous stops. He was the first person to give me a call when I got that assistant job, and yeah, we have some good connections. His wife grew up in the same neighborhood, a few houses down from where I grew up in Medlock Bridge in Atlanta, and yeah, I mean, I saw from a distance what he was doing here at Georgia Southern, not just with tennis, but with the entire athletic department. And the thing I loved is that he was not just content staying where we're at. I mean, he believes in this place, and he really sold me because I wanted to be around an athletic department that was pushing for as much as we could get. And the overall excitement here, the professional development opportunities. I mean, we had a head coaches meeting this morning with everybody in it, and I mean that's how I'm learning. I want to be surrounded by great people, driven people, competitive people who I can learn from. So it's been awesome.
You know, the phrase he uses a lot, whether it's talking to other coaches, administrators, or student athletes, he says a rising tide lifts all boats. And when you look around and you see volleyball's off to a 10-1 start, the best in program history. Yep. Women's soccer has its top RPI ranking in program history. They've got conference play starting in Mobile on Thursday. To know that you're about to be part of a program that appears to be on the rise in so many different ways, how compelling is that?
It's exciting. It's exciting. It's something you want to be a part of, and it's something that you want to make sure your team is lifting that tide as well and lifting that boat. But I'm a big believer in that. I don't think individuals lift a team. I think a team lifts individuals, and I think the same applies to the athletic department as a whole. We're going to do it.
All right, before we let you go, you've got to tell us what your first Georgia Southern football experience was like.
It was great. It was great. I went down to the Citadel. I went on the field as long as I could before I got kicked off, but that was great. Got to see freedom flying, and yeah, it was awesome. I love that the environment. I thought it was packed to the brim. I think the fans were passionate. I mean, that's why I'm here, and yeah, unbelievable. So I've absolutely loved. I'm a massive college football fan, and I will eat that up as much as possible whenever I'm in town.
Men's tennis starts individual competition this weekend at the Charlotte Invite Friday through Sunday. They'll be in competition each of the next 4 weekends leading into the spring. New head coach Andrew Goodwin is with us. Appreciate the time. Congratulations on the opportunity. Welcome officially to town, and we'll be talking with you a whole lot more.
Thanks a ton, Danny. Hail Southern.
Andrew Goodwin, he's a good one. And a good win. We'll talk with Clay Helton after this timeout. Georgia Southern football continues. Hail Southern live from Wild Wing Cafe after this, powered by Learfield.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
Hey, babe, you ready to go? Our reservation is at 7:30.
Yes, but could you get my earrings off the kitchen counter, please?
Sure.
Oh, this eyeliner.
I don't see him.
Wait, I was in the guest kitchen.
Coming through, Duke.
Careful.
No.
Try the game room kitchen.
Okay. Stairs. Not here. Were you in the bowling alley?
We have a bowling alley?
$7 million can get you that kind of house, too. Play the Billionaire Bonanza Scratcher, part of the Billionaire Club series from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Eagle Nation, tune in to Inside Georgia Southern Football each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and watch locally on WJCL, Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Our weekly 30-minute dive into Eagle football features head coach Clay Helton looking back at the week before and previewing the week ahead. It's football season, and your inside look is each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and Saturdays at 11:30 on WJCL. Inside Georgia Southern Football with head coach Clay Helton. Don't miss it.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Earth Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
Getting blitzed. Down he goes.
The speed.
40, there he goes. Down the sideline.
Western College football.
Toward the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Bliss. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
McAfee tight right, the snap 3 wides. Bryn checks the screen. Bryn wants everything, throwing end zone for McAfee. He's got it! Wings up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern! 25-yard touchdown strike from Davis Bryn to J.J. McAfee that gave the Eagles a 14-7 lead in the third quarter. In Madison, Wisconsin does come back for the 35-14 victory. 2-1 is the record, heading to Ball State this weekend to conclude non-conference play. 2 o'clock Eastern is the kick. We'll be live at 12 noon. With the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show as Hail Southern Live continues, brought to you each week by Morris Bank. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. Let's get more into Georgia Southern football. For that, please welcome in head coach Clay Helton to Wild Wing Cafe. I think I've asked you this a couple times, but I know that you and Miss Angela do wings every Thursday night. But when you come here each week, what's the choice? What do you eat?
Well, she makes me order that grilled chicken salad every Monday night because I get the wings on Thursday night.
What's your wing flavor?
I'm just a good old Buffalo hot.
Okay.
Yeah. Simple basics.
A lot of times we speak about how mature and poised a team is. It means a lot on the road, and in this case, it means more when you're talking about a loss as opposed to a win.
Yeah, definitely. I love the look our team had in their eye when they entered that stadium. The environment wasn't too big for them. They were ready to compete and compete at a high level. And not only compete, they expected to win that game. And you saw the disappointment in their faces, coming off, because in their hearts they know, they put themselves in a place to go win a game, but we made mistakes down the stretch. Now a mature team takes a deep breath, recovers on Monday, resets, and then comes back to work Tuesday because it is one game, and we're back to 0-0, and now we're trying to go 1-0 on the week. That's the sign of a mature and experienced football team, and we have that.
You know, this wasn't just because this squad beat Nebraska last year. I think that these guys believed that they were going to win the game because they believed they were a better team than Wisconsin, and for about 35 minutes of that contest, I think that they were right.
Yeah, you know, we're all sick and disappointed because we feel like, you know, we put ourselves in position to win a game and we let it slip away. If you would have told me we were going to be inside the 35-yard line 8 times and only come away with 14 points, that's hard to do. And, you know, to be able to finish drives was going to be the key to that match, and we didn't get our job done that day. Credit to the defense, really kept us in it. And if you would have told me, man, we're in the third quarter up 14-7, and we've had 3 turnovers and they've had none, I don't know if I'd say I believed you, but that's where we were in the game because of our defensive play.
You outgained a Big Ten team. You were able to run 80 plays, which, as we talked about this morning on Inside Georgia Southern Football, the new clock rules make it close to impossible to run that many plays. You got to give a lot of kudos to Brian Ellis and the plan that he put together.
Yeah, definitely. I thought our playmakers stepped up big time in that game, especially on the outside. And then, you know, when Jalen went down, one of the hidden secrets of that success of moving the ball was O.J. Arnold.
Yeah.
And some of the runs he made, catches out of the backfield he made. He was a big part of that 2-minute drive right before half that set us up for trying to go with a go-ahead field goal. But, you know, I thought pretty much the key offensively, we talked about don't turn the ball over. We're going to move the ball if we're great on third down, and we were 9 of 17, 53%, and then finish in the red zone. And so, you know, we did not get the turnovers and the finish in the red zone done, and that ended up being the difference in the game.
Now, you did mention this morning on your press conference, but if you would be able to rehash this for us, Jalen White coming up, he left the game in the first quarter. J.J. McAfee, T.J. Smith were also banged up. Could you give us an update on them?
Yeah, you know, it'll be – I think Jalen and J.J. will have to wait later in the week to see where they're at. You know, unfortunately, J.J. makes this unbelievable great play for the touchdown, and in making that play gets his ankle rolled up on. He didn't practice yesterday. I don't know if he'll practice tomorrow. We'll have to see Wednesday and Thursday where he's at. Jalen, same thing, got caught from behind and had a big man fall on the back of his ankle. You know, not extreme, but at their positions and the change of directions that they have to make, it's maybe tough. We'll see later in the week. Probably the best off is TJ. I know TJ Smith left that game, but he did practice yesterday. We'll practice tomorrow. We'll kind of hold him from contact and see where he is Thursday, but I think he's in a position to help us this week.
Now, we're speaking about a couple of team leaders, but one that I'm going to focus on, and this happened right before we left on the way home. We're about ready to get the announcement that we're going to take off back for Savannah, but there's people in the back of the plane that are thirsty. Who's the one that's handing out bottles of water? It's the guy that led the team in tackles in Marquez Watson-Trent. And just for him, I know he's one of the captains, but for him to have that kind of leadership and selflessness to do that really blew me away.
Yeah, servant leadership is the name of the game at our place and in our organization, and there's no job too small. And you know, that's just who Mar is. There's a bunch of great older leaders in that, and you're going to see another one here tonight in Khadry. That they take care of each other. They are family, and they treat each other like family and brothers, and they take care of one another. So it doesn't surprise me that Mar would put himself in that position.
We come back from this timeout. We'll take a deeper look back at those Wisconsin Badgers. As Coach mentioned, we'll talk with Cadre Jackson a little bit later on, and we will preview Ball State this weekend up at Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana. You're listening and watching to Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Yellowwood knows that a five-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories, like roasting marshmallows on a cool fall night. That's it. Turn it nice and slow. Get it toasted all... Oh, no, it's on fire. Oh, you want it on fire. Okay, that's a choice, I guess. Crunchy. For five-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
The sweet smell of victory and grilled burgers still hang in the air. Your tailgate was a big win thanks to your Ford F-150 truck. With available Pro Power on board, you used your F-150 as a mobile generator. That kept the celebration going long after the final whistle. See your local Ford dealer and score a great offer on F-150. Greatness starts here. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Hello, welcome to another bank. Please just say what you need help with.
Check my balance.
I heard pay a bill. Is that correct?
When you bank at Morris Bank, you won't be greeted with an automated response system or wonder if you're just another account number, because real relationships make community banking better. Morris Bank and Georgia Southern football were built on the same blue-collar mentality. And at Morris Bank, blue isn't just a part of our ad campaign, it's a part of our DNA. Morris Bank is proud to be the season presenting sponsor of Georgia Southern football. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hale Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, a reminder to please sign up for the Wings Up Eagle Nation promotion brought to you by the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, coach's favorite airport and the official airport of Georgia Southern Athletics. You can sign up to win 2 round-trip tickets to watch Georgia Southern take on Texas State November the 4th in San Marcos. They'll also cover your travel to and from the contest. If you've signed up, we're going to announce the winner within the next week. I believe the final day for sign-up is 1 week from tonight on the 25th. But if you haven't signed up, please go to flysav.com/GS giveaway. Flysav.com/GS giveaway. That's Savannah Hilton Head International Airport, the official airport of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Had a chance to do it this past week. Going to do it again this Friday up to Muncie.
Yeah, definitely. Best airport in the country, I'm going to tell you, to get in and out of. And the people there are just absolutely phenomenal how they take care of us.
This has been what we call Media Mondays in 2023, with Inside Georgia Southern Football returning to ESPN+, your press conference right after, and then Hale Southern Live. It made me think about what the rest of your week looks like. Is it scheduled down to the minute? Is Matt Hassan literally following you around saying 12 o'clock you're here, 12:15 you're here? How does that go?
Yeah, Monday's a really busy day. Obviously, it's a lot of your head coach administration things are being done from an academic meeting, compliance meetings, mental health meetings, as far as, satisfying all your media obligations, meeting with the staff in preparation for tomorrow's practice, and then going back right after this and going and continuing game planning. So Monday is extremely busy, and yes, Matt has a very detailed, down-to-the-minute schedule. But then you get to settle in on Tuesday. I'm glad to get it all put to bed on Monday, and I get to dive into the team on Tuesdays.
This year, with practices on Tuesdays and Thursdays being in the morning, is it that you flip your day to get practice and then film, or
is this just the way it worked out because of class schedules?
No, a little bit. It was about the players' bodies also, and class fits very well also. We've had a lot of success class-wise of going Tuesdays and Thursday mornings and being able to do study hall in the afternoon and satisfying a lot of their academic responsibilities. But it also, when you think about it, their off day is Monday, their heaviest practice on Tuesday. They come back for lifting on Wednesday morning and then another practice on Wednesday afternoon. So their two heaviest practices, they have basically a day and a half worth of separation before they have to go back out. And then we go Thursday morning, and then they're a fresher football team, in my opinion, when they come back on Saturday because they have that Thursday afternoon, all of Friday, and then we go play Saturday.
With last Saturday being an 11 a.m. local kick, another earlier kick coming up this week, how do those earlier practices help get them into that kind of frame of mind?
Yeah, they're acclimated. To be honest with you, I mean, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday we practice in the afternoons. Tuesday and Thursdays we practice in the morning. We figured that we would have a minimum of 3 games that were either morning or early afternoon. That's the way it looks like it's going to turn out. And we wanted to be able to acclimate them to that and get them comfortable within that routine. And so I thought, in seeing the kids walk in that stadium and come out the gate, they were ready to go. And so I think that has a lot to do with us practicing in the mornings from 10 to 12.
Eagle Nation, by the way, if you didn't see it earlier today, the Coastal Carolina game at home next Saturday has been flexed to a 7 p.m. kickoff. It is now also on linear television on the NFL Network. First time that Georgia Southern has ever been on the NFL Network. Our tailgate show that evening will start at 5 p.m. for a 7 p.m. kickoff against the Chanticleers to start Sun Belt play. We will preview Ball State a little bit more during our final segment. But thinking back a little bit more to Wisconsin, to gain over 450 yards of total offense, and then defensively, we also mentioned this morning at the press conference, there was a 5-drive stretch where you gave up 1 first down to a team that's running the air raid. That's extremely difficult to do.
Yeah, definitely. I thought the third down efficiency defensively was stellar. You talk about 3 of 11 that they went on third down. That's 27%, and that's a national standard when you talk about that. So it really gave us the opportunity to get the ball back. And you look up in that first half, we had 50 plays in the first half, and a lot of that has to do with our defense getting off the field.
There was a stat in their game notes that since 2010 combined, they had been giving up under 28% at home on third downs. That was the best of any FBS team in the country. You go in and you go 9 out of 17. That at least, I know it's a loss and that's the ultimate focus, but to be able to go in there and do that successfully, especially when some of those were third and sizable.
Yeah, I tell you, and that's one of the reasons when I walked into the office Sunday, I was so optimistic about our team for a couple of reasons. One, I know that we can be great on both sides of the ball. There's no question in my mind that we can do that because of the players we have and their attitude. But also, it was really neat to be in that environment and see your kids compete. And you think about the road trips that are getting ready to come up, and it starts with Ball State this weekend.
Yeah.
And then you've got Marshall on the road. You got James Madison on the road. You got App State on the road. So to be able to see them not phased in that style of environment and go compete at a very high level, man, it was awesome to see. That game is really going to help us for the future.
I think about last year in Nebraska when there were multiple times where 86,000 people were quiet at the same time. And there were a couple times Saturday where you made about 75,000 people. Now, granted, the 1,000 that showed up for Georgia Southern were louder than everybody else, but to know that the other 74,000 plus were quiet because of things that you did and your team did, that's good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. When we took the lead in the third quarter, 14-7, and I heard the hush of the stadium, you're like, wow, we're here. This is the position we wanted to put ourselves in, and here we are. With the lead in the third quarter, unfortunately, wasn't able to hold on to it.
Davis Brin throws for 383 yards. He is 10th in the country in passing 3 games into the season. He led the country through 3 games last year, 945 yards. He's also hitting 72% of his passes. That's 14th best nationally. He was Offensive Player of the Week last week for his efforts against UAB, and I think it's important to remind people that dude can play some ball despite
the 5 interceptions. He's still going to be fine because he knows what he's doing when the ball's in his hands.
And some of those, some of those are not his fault.
Correct.
And I'll say that, but, from a ball being tipped up by a defensive end, that happens. All of a sudden we have a physical beat inside, and he gets hit right when he's releasing the ball, which is sad because he was going to the right man, and JJ's getting ready to have a huge play. But I know there's a couple throws he'd like to have back and a couple reads that he'd like to have back. The fact of the matter is he gives us the best opportunity to win a football game, and he plays at a very high level. And all quarterbacks, I don't care who you are, all quarterbacks have that day where they're just a hair off. You saw it with Josh Allen. Josh Allen in game one throws 4 interceptions in game 1 of the NFL season, and then this Sunday looked like he's the best player on earth. So it happens. And the one thing that I saw from Davis, which really inspired me, is I've always believed great players, great basketball players, shooters shoot.
Right.
Steph Curry, if he's off, he still shoots.
Still shooting.
And he made some throws in that game, even when things weren't going all his way, that were elite throws. And even with, less than 5 minutes, we end up setting Caleb down and Derwin down and OJ down and being able to pull him. He was like, Coach, I still want to go out there. I mean, he still had that competitive fire and that look in his eye of that hunger, which is good. We're going to carry that to the next game, and he's going to do a great job.
All right, I'll put this to you. You played the position. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what your worst game was?
Oh, my gosh. I can tell you. I got the opportunity to play against Texas A&M in the old Southwest Conference, and I think I was looking out the side of my helmet a couple times. I got hit end over end a couple times.
Do you remember the next game that you played after that?
I do not. I must have got hit too many times that game.
With the few days that you'll have to prepare for a Ball State team that came down here last year, highly competitive, strong-willed, they were very tough. They led that game with just over 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You've seen them. You'll have to get used to their environment, another one where Eagle Nation has not been before. But with lessons learned from last week, how does that help cushion the blow and help you be even better this week?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that a mature football team does is whether it's a great win or a heartbreaking loss, you put it behind you, you go to the next game, and that's what we have to do. Because the reality is we're getting ready to play a team that has most of the players from last year's team on their defense. Obviously, offensively, there's a couple changes there, but defensively, that was a squad that gave us issues for 3 quarters. That was a 23-20 game with about 11 minutes to go in that game when we started that series, and we scored on the last 2 series to put the game away. But this is a game that we have to be fully focused and have a great week of prep because they're coming off a big win for themselves and really kind of found their identity offensively and moved the ball very well in their running game, focused on that, and then used some play action, some RPOs, some nakeds, some quick game to really help the quarterback out and really made a great statement for their team moving forward.
I asked Derwin about this morning at the press conference. This team is going to be flying a lot this year. Out of the 6 road games, 5 are flights, and then whatever a postseason game may represent. But this is 2 straight weeks of Midwestern flights. Mm-hmm. Is there anything different or special you have to do from a body maintenance standpoint to try to guard against what could be some tired bones?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that you lose, as you know, is some water. You lose a little bit of hydration, and so you have to be able to monitor that on any road trip, both going there and coming back, and you got a back-to-back road trip. So that's one of the things that we do on Thursdays is we do our hydration test to see kind of where we are walking into that Friday travel. So if there's somebody that we need to get rehydrated prior to game time, that they're ready. Elijah Peterson does an amazing job for us with that. You haven't seen a guy cramp in literally not only last season, but this season too. And we're almost through September now, and so they do a tremendous job of preparing the team's body for preparation.
Well, what's amazing, I think you said in practice the other day, you got 129 active guys. You've got to know 129 different hydration patterns to get everybody ready. You're going to take 70 or so, but to have everybody in the proper physical mindset to be able to do what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. And you have those high-risk guys that you already know coming through training camp that, we check their body weights pre-practice as well as post-practice. So if anybody loses 5% or more, that we actively take care of them immediately. And you have some heavy sweaters. We know who those guys are. So we're monitoring them really closely.
I think TJ Woods and Rip worked with quite a few of them.
Yeah, definitely. The big men sweat a bunch.
We'll come back. We'll speak with linebacker Cadre Jackson. Then we'll preview Ball State a little bit later on. From Wild Wing Cafe, this is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
On game day, success starts with a great game plan. No matter if you're at home or on the road, greatness starts here with the Ford F-150 truck, delivering a rare combination of power and smart technology like the available Class Exclusive Pro Power onboard. Ford F-150 helps make great things possible. See your local Ford dealer and score a great offer on F-150. See owner's manual for important operating instructions. Class is full-size pickups number 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Hi, this is former quarterback Kyle Van Treese. Name, image, and likeness, or NIL in college sports, is here to stay. We have the opportunity to be one of the leaders in our conference and in the group of five. To keep our championship standard and stay ahead of the rest, we must keep our best players and recruit the best as well. Thanks to the new Eagle Nation Collective, we're in a great position to do just that, but we can't do it without your support. Please help by becoming a member of the Eagle Nation Collective today. Sign up online at eaglenationnil.com and receive exclusive access to our student athletes that you can't get anywhere else. Join the Eagle Nation Collective at eaglenationnil.com.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Earth Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the 2023-24 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite school or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. That's thedirectorscup.com and L Directors Cup on Twitter. Trophies will be awarded in June 2024 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
4th and 7 at the Eagle 34. Stay on sides the snap. Eagles bring 6. Mordecai lets it fly as he was hit by Jackson. Throwing end zone. It is incomplete. No flag on the play. And it's a turnover on downs for Wisconsin. That pressure from Georgia Southern's defense forcing a turnover on downs during the first quarter last Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium. Georgia Southern comes into its final non-conference game with a 2-1 record, going to Ball State on Saturday as Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe. Brought to you this week by Georgia Power. Georgia Power, a Southern company. The guy that brought the pressure on quarterback Tanner Mordecai is with us now. Eagle Nation, please welcome fifth-year senior inside linebacker Cadre Jackson to Wild Wing Cafe. Good to see you, Nine. How you been?
Yes, I'm doing good. How you doing?
To make that kind of play when Wisconsin was driving, they had the big play at the start of the drive, the 38-yard pass, but to have that kind of pressure and the hit to force the incompletion on 4th down, walk us back through the play.
Going back, I know they had just had a 3rd down and they ended up saying they're going to go for it. So we thought, let's bring some pressure. And then we had some great coverage on the outside by the Mel Hitman. And we had ran the pressure, and I got home. I wish I could have got there a little bit faster, but I kind of fed the throw. So it was a great play.
You've got one of Georgia Southern's sacks this year. You had that unmolested sack against the Citadel in the first game. I know that your coverage has really improved, but to be able to pressure the quarterback like that, how have you improved that part of your game?
I think it's just been a testament to just working out on it like during the off season and staying after practice, working on a little fundamental things like working with your hands and working with your feet, coincide with it. So that's the main thing I've been working on.
You played both sides of the ball in high school. We'll get to that more in a minute because there's a really good story about where you went. But what would you say is the best part about your game?
Just being versatile, being able to get after the quarterback, be a run and chase linebacker, and also playing coverage. I think I could do it all. So I think just being versatile really is the main thing I do good.
And we had you on Inside Georgia Southern Football not too long ago, part of the Domino's 5 questions. You were asked, what would you rather do, have the game-winning sack or score the game-winning touchdown? I was surprised that you said score the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, I said game-winning touchdown because it's scoring points. Like, even if it's a pick six or a scoop and score, like, it's scoring a touchdown. So anytime you get points on the board, I mean, it's a good thing. So I would say scoring a touchdown.
This being your second year as a starter, you're the second defense you've had to learn as a starter. It's your 3rd straight year with a new coordinator, 4th coordinator in 5 years as a college performer. With all that change, how much more challenging is it to be a consistent player?
It is kind of challenging, but the main thing that you have to do is just get in your playbook and try and learn it the best way you can. You have to go in there with your coach, ask questions, and try and know it as best you can. So that way, like when you're going on the field, it's just second nature.
Have you noticed guys in the defense try to coach each other with all the film study and all the time that you spend around each other?
Yeah, we do that a lot. We meet as a defense just by ourselves with our coaches just to get even more familiar with the playbook and the game plan throughout each week. We actually had one earlier today, and then we have even later on during the week. So we do that a lot, just amongst ourselves, just coaching each other and trying to get better.
You already spent a lot of time with each other. You spend even more time with Mar. You're next to him, he's next to you. What kind of comfort is there in knowing that you've got him and he's got you?
Yeah, we take care of each other. You know, Mar is a great player, a great leader, and great teammate. And me and him, we talk a lot about this everything, just about everything we see during the week, about who we're playing, like running backs, any tendency between the O-linemen, and just anything we see on film. We always text each other, call each other about anything that we see. So playing with him is great because we both feed off each other and we both love playing the game. So it's fun.
I asked him this question earlier today in the press conference, that with the way offenses are now, with so many teams going out of the shotgun and running backs being offset one way or the other, oftentimes you're eye to eye with whoever the running back is. So what kind of feeling is that you can see him and he can see you, and knowing that you're probably going to meet each other in a couple seconds?
It's fun because like that's like the ultimate test of a man. Like I see you, you see me, and we know it's going to go one way or the other. So you just got to try and make more than you, just try and be on the winning side most times. So that's really it.
Not a whole lot of linebackers wear number 9, but you have a very special reason why. That was covered last week on Inside Georgia Southern Football, because of your dad.
Yeah, so my dad played quarterback at FAMU a long time ago, back in the 1980s. So it's more like a testament to him, and also too because he's been through a lot in his life. He had congestive heart failure and had a heart transplant, so he's doing a great thing now, just back refereeing. He coached football for a long time, growing up with me. So yeah, it's a big testament to him.
How much more does that motivate you?
motivates me a lot because he's my biggest fan, but he also like my biggest critic. So like after the game, every day after each game, he's texting me, calling me, saying, "Oh, you just do this, do this, do this, do that," and I'm like, I'm already my biggest critic myself. So hearing it twice it is tough love, but he's really my biggest fan. So I try and just make sure I just play on my game just for him. So that's really it.
Now, being from Orlando, mentioned that you played both sides in high school. You actually played quarterback for a hot minute, but there was a guy that came to your school that made you not play quarterback anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell us who that is.
Yeah, Joe Milton. That's my teammate. He played quarterback at Tennessee. He started out at University of Michigan, but now he's a quarterback at University of Tennessee, and he's doing a very good job. So, yeah, that's my boy. But yeah, he came in and played quarterback, and I moved to safety. So that's what it was.
You know, it's rumored that he could throw the ball 90 yards. Have you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, I seen him throw on his knees like 60 yards. He was in 10th grade. So anything, whether it's 90 or 100 yards, I believe it because I seen him do it in 10th grade. So.
You've been surrounded by talent your entire life. I've looked back at some of the guys you played with at North Carolina. You were teammates with Sam Howell, who's now starting for the Commanders, De'Ami Brown. You've got Javonte Williams, who's starting running back for the Broncos, Storm Duck, Chaz Surratt, who changed positions from quarterback to defense just like you did. To be surrounded by all that talent and still have a shot to make it good here at Georgia Southern, how has that made you a better player?
It's definitely been motivating because, I would say it's been very motivating because all those dudes you name, like, are dudes I'm really close with. Like Sam Howell, me and him went to North Carolina together, and he's my roommate for all my 2.5 years there. So me and him were still super close to this day. Storm Duck was also my roommate, and Chaz Surratt, I sat in the room with him for 2 years and learned from him, just being a great linebacker. So, and also I went against Devontae Williams every day in practice. So everybody you name, I have like a close connection with and still talk to, still to this day. So those are my brothers, but it's also just good to see. Being around them, playing against them, I know that I have the ability and still have the chance to do those great things they've been doing, so it's very motivating.
All right, we'll close with the polo that you're wearing. We talked about this with Davis before. You got your Eagle Nation Collective polo on. You're one of the student athletes that benefits from the funds raised through the Eagle Nation Collective. You had a chance to greet many of the fans at the kickoff social back in August. What has it meant to you specifically to have this NIL Collective a part of Georgia Southern Athletics?
I think it's very great. We've done a great job. And thanks to Lenny B and Kyle and the whole team just going out there and just creating a platform for us to be able to I would say take care of us and do things for student athletes. Everything we go through, just working out, being student athletes and just going out there and playing, it just creates a platform for us to be able to express ourselves and be able to just have an even better college experience. So it's definitely a great thing that's going on.
Buddy, you're good. Appreciate you being here. Good luck this weekend, rest of the year.
Yes, I appreciate you.
That's linebacker Cadre Jackson. We'll come back one more segment with Coach Helton. It's all Ball State from here on Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe after this timeout on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Cook it in their 500-degree brick oven in just a few minutes. Your own delicious pizza experience using only the freshest ingredients on hand-tossed dough and individually sized just for you. And that Eagle Nation is why they're called Your Pie, because it's all about you. The Your Pie in Statesboro and downtown Savannah is owned and operated by Joe Hunt, a Georgia Southern grad. So when you order your next pizza, be true blue and make it all about you. Go see Joe at Your Pie, and I guarantee it, you'll be glad you did.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
BBWH Insurers, owned and operated by Georgia Southern alumni, has been serving Southeast Georgia since 1888. Our partnerships with quality A-rated carriers such as Central Mutual Insurance Companies provide affordable and comprehensive coverage for your family and business. BBWH Insurers protects and supports our own. That's our true blue promise to you. Call me, Brad Powell, at 912-764-9602 or visit us online at bbwhins.com and go Eagles.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear, Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com for Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Cadre Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that in the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. What a lightning bolt. 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield. This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
One more segment on this week's edition of Hail Southern Live for Wild Wing Cafe, brought to you by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. We'll talk about Ball State in just a moment. 2 o'clock is the kick from Muncie. We on at 12 noon with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. Coach, I know we say this every week with every player that we have on, but you guys recruit outstanding people. It's not that just great players. These are outstanding people.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you're trying to build a successful organization, it starts with the people that surround you. And Khadry has been an unbelievable example of not only leadership, but what an Eagle is. I mean, what a selfless person, a tough person, and from an accountability standpoint, just day in and day out, his consistency of making sure he's doing right by the team, he's at an elite level.
He'll lead that Eagle defense up to Schumann Stadium this Saturday, 2 o'clock again, as we mentioned, against Ball State. Beat the Cardinals 34-23 last year. Looking at that offense, well, there's not one, not two, but 3 quarterbacks that have played all 3 games. Lane Hatcher was supposed to be the guy, familiar with him from his time at Arkansas State. They've also got a running quarterback in Kyle Kelly, but it's been true freshman Caden Zamanza that has started each of the last 2 games. He played almost the entire game last weekend in that win over Indiana State.
Yeah, and they've really settled into him, and they've done some nice things with him as far as the naked game, the play action game, RPOs, have kept it simple for him, have been in drop back situations on 3rd down when they needed to. They bring in Kelly for a little wildcat package, a little zone option read. So they've got a nice little mix, and they really found their identity last week. I truly believe that, especially in the second half, and built some confidence among their team, scoring over 40 points.
Marquez Cooper, the running back, is a really good one. He was a first-team All-MAC guy at Kent State last year with the guy that Ball State had last year in Carson Steele, but he transfers to UCLA. Cooper had a lot of trouble against Kentucky and Georgia, as you would against SEC East competition, but what a game he had last weekend. 177 yards on 22 carries, his first touchdown of the year. We mentioned earlier this morning, got that O.J. Arnold kind of build, so maybe your defense could look at that. Well, we tackle that. We try to tackle that, so we'll see how we can do against him.
Low center of gravity of 5'8", 190, but he packs a punch. I think his legs look like dang tree trunks, and he's a pinball. He bounces off. We have to have great pursuit to the ball this week, not only in space on the RPO game, but really on 2-3 people trying to tackle Cooper, because he's really a good back.
Now, just like Georgia Southern, Ball State puts some importance on that tight end position. Their number 1 option has missed the first 3 games of the season with an ankle injury. That's Brady Hunt. There's conflicting info on whether or not he's going to be available this weekend. If he is, that dramatically gives them another dimension. But Tanner Koziel, along with Maximus Webster, Koziel had a touchdown in that game against the Eagles last year. And when you got somebody that's 6'7", we know that with Keaton Upshaw, that you can't really coach that.
Yeah, they do a tremendous job of spreading the ball around, and they spread it to their tight ends too. And Brady, I mean, you're talking about a guy that had All-American possibilities this year. If he's not hurt, but if he is back, both Brady and Tanner, I mean, they've got an opportunity to really be a great 1-2 punch.
They end up running the ball for 288 yards last weekend after 149 combined during those two SEC clashes. You brought this up earlier tonight and earlier today. A defense that has almost everybody back, but it begins with that very stingy defensive line.
Yeah, definitely. They created issues last year for us, and came in with a nice package, and this will be a battle between the trenches. Our offense versus their defensive line. They presented a great challenge last year. We were able to come away with a victory, but we gained a lot of respect for that defensive front.
When you face a front line that has seen so much game activity collectively, what more does it require out of your offensive line and your ability to work with tempo to overmatch them?
Yeah, you have to be so fundamentally assignment sound because they have played together so much. There's a great chemistry, and you just don't see them bust. They played so many reps that they are gap integrity sound. And so, the picture you see, there is a lot of movement, a lot of slanting, a lot of angling between that defensive front and multiple pressures that they bring. They do a great job of hiding coverages with their nickel, with their safeties. You think it's too high, it rolled to one high. You thought it was one high, oh my gosh, the nickel went back to middle field. They do a good job of mixing things up. We'll have to get a great feel. Brian did a nice job of settling in to that game. Coach Ellis did last year, and then all of a sudden in the second half kind of separated. We'll have to see what they're doing again. They've showed in their first 3 games a 4 down, but typically we end up getting some drop 8, some odd. We'll see what happens.
12 noon airtime for the Cutwater Spirits tailgate show up in Muncie this weekend at Schumann Stadium. First trip ever for Georgia Southern going to Ball State. We will kick it off at 2 as the Eagles look for a 3-1 record in non-conference play. Coach, thanks as always for being here this week. Best of luck good into 3-1.
Thanks, Danny. Hail Southern.
For head coach Clay Helton, Cadre Jackson, Andrew Goodwin, and Chris Affolter back at Network Studios. Danny Reed signing off from Wild Wing Cafe. We will talk to you this Saturday. Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana for Georgia Southern and Ball State. 2 o'clock kick on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.